Today I'm here to give you my January and February update on my beauty spending diet. So if you want to see how I went with my beauty spending diet, how much I spent, how much I used, what I learnt in January and February, then keep on watching. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bettina and I'm the makeup enthusiast, and in this video, as I said, we're talking about my beauty spending diet. So without further ado, let's jump on into the video and let's talk about some lessons I learned in January and February. So starting off, we might talk about the numbers. So if you didn't see my monthly collective haul, I will leave that linked up in the corner here, and also my empties for January as well as my empties for February. So in my monthly collective hauls, I have been discussing how much I've spent and I show you what I spent my money on, and then in my product empties at the end of every empties video throughout 2019 I am calculating the total value of the products that I am using up. So that's a little rundown of how we're running things around here for these updates. But from those numbers, I have a deficit of $185.92. So that means I used up $185.92 more product than I spent. So I'm pretty happy with that number, but when it gets down to the meat of it, in terms of what I brought in versus what went out, for the month of January and February, I didn't really spend that much money on actual makeup. I did receive a palette for my birthday, which you will see in that haul what it was. So I did receive an eyeshadow palette, so that's quite a big item that's come into my collection versus what went out. A lot of skincare and body care went out of my collection. There wasn't many makeup items. Really the only makeup items that went out of the collection was the ones that I managed to use up in my project pan in January and February, which in essence was a pretty big deal. I really like to use up and appreciate products that I have brought into my collection. So I discovered in January and February that I really don't like decluttering. There are a few products in my collection that I don't use or haven't even touched, and I don't like decluttering. I feel like it's a massive waste of my money and my time and my space. So I don't like to declutter, and I feel like that's something I really need to improve on, because there are a few products and I am rapidly running out of space in my collection. So to allow myself to make more space for things that I really truly want going forward, I feel like I really need to overcome that fear of decluttering. I don't want to just throw my makeup in the bin, because it has been something that I have collected and I've spent a lot of hard-earned money on my collection or my palettes. It'd be probably my eyeshadow palettes that I would be more comfortable passing on to someone. Any kind of complexion products, I'm happy to persevere with them and use up in my project pan. Another thing to note was, this is like a first world problem video. Throughout January, I didn't really feel the need to purchase new makeup. I was still really overwhelmed by what I got from my Christmas haul, from what I got from my husband, particularly because I still had it all sitting out on my desk, and I kind of did that deliberately to remind myself that I still have a lot of new stuff from my Christmas presents that I haven't touched, and that makes me feel really guilty because I did go so ham in the Black Friday sales. I've found myself being very overwhelmed by the amount of makeup that I have to use. I only have one set of eyes, I only have one face, so it is difficult to be able to use a lot of palettes. I think I ended up getting, I don't even remember, it was like close to 10, maybe even over 10 palettes from Christmas. So that's a lot of palettes for one person in 1 month. I have really been trying to slowly use those, but on top of that I have a crap load of palettes in my collection as well that I have kind of just put there and forgotten about. That's why I am doing my 1 month 1 palette series, but that's only 12 palettes and there are still palettes that I want to buy. I could do a 1 month 1 palette video for the entire year based off just what I got for Christmas last year, so it's not really going to allow me to dip into my old collection before I got those Christmas presents. So I'm thinking maybe going forward of doing get ready with me's or short tutorials on old palettes, and I can just grab out 1 or 2 palettes and use them. Let me know if that's something that you would be interested in, if Towards the end of January, I started to struggle a little bit because I have automatic transfers set up. So I get paid fortnightly. The day after my pay goes in, I have all my automatic transfers set up to come out of my account straight away. So I have an automatic transfer set up for savings. I have an automatic transfer set up for payments to my student loans. I have automatic transfer set up for a extra payment on our mortgage to pay off a few things that are fortnightly payments. So for example, like my gym membership, food delivery service that comes out on a weekly basis. So I have those set up as well as part of that automatic transfer to go onto our credit card to pay that stuff off that I have set up to be charged to the credit card. That is already like a huge chunk of my income that I have going out the day after, and that's the way I like it. I love seeing that when I basically check my bank account the day after my pay is scheduled to go in, that everything's pretty much already been paid, and that gives me a lot of peace of mind knowing that what's left over is there for any bills that pop up that I haven't accounted for, and then any spending money, or if we want to go out for dinner, anything like that. So towards the end of January, I really struggled with having extra money left over. After everything had been paid, I had a chunk of money left over in my bank account. I have the money, I've paid everything. That means that I can spend this. And I had to really stop myself and say, just because it's there doesn't mean that you have to spend it. And then I decided that one way that I was going to mitigate this from happening like every fortnight, that if I potentially had extra money over, that I would spend it. So to mitigate that, I have increased the amount each fortnight that I am transferring across to my savings account, in the hope that my extra money that I was having left over is going into my savings instead of me spending it. I'm sure a lot of people think that by the time they've paid for all their bills, anything that's left over is okay to spend. And I had to really remind myself that yes, I do have the money, but you don't have to spend it. Just because it's there doesn't mean you have to spend it. It's okay to have money in your bank account. Like, it's okay for your bank account not to be at zero. And I guess that's one thing that I really tried to remember. So moving into February was my birthday month. I had my birthday on the 11th of February. I guess the need or the want to spend money in February was mitigated by the fact that I was getting birthday presents. Like I said, I got some makeup for my birthday, I got some clothes for my birthday, I got a plant for my birthday. So those are probably the three categories at the moment that I am spending the most of my money on, is makeup, fashion, and plants. I've become a little bit obsessed with indoor plants. So those three things are things that I received for my birthday. So February also was a big month because I had my birthday. We went out a few times to celebrate my birthday. So a lot of money was spent on like outings, going out for beers. I don't drink beer, I drink cider or ginger beer. So that can be a pretty expensive endeavor if you are going out for dinner and spending money. It can be pretty expensive for one meal. The amount that we spend on takeaway for one night, that if we were to spend that on groceries, it would last us like a whole week compared to one meal. My husband and I can be pretty bad when it comes to opting to go for takeaway instead of cooking. We both work pretty hard. He works a lot harder than I do. But some nights when we get home, we just don't want to cook. So we just resort to takeaway, and probably not the cheapest takeaway either. Sometimes you just don't want to cook. Another thing to note was for my birthday, my mother-in-law opted to just give me some money for my birthday, which is totally fine. I do appreciate her giving me some money. She doesn't have to give me anything, but she always does opt to give me some money. And I was like, I have extra money and it is for me to spend on myself. So I'm gonna go out and spend it on makeup, obviously. So I looked at so many different sites, so many different sites, particularly the ones that are on my brands that I want to try in 2019 list, and I looked at all of them and I was like, well, I'm gonna make an order, so I may as well order everything that I want. My mother-in-law gave me $50 to spend, and all of these sites, all of them except one, I think, are US based. So if I was to spend any money on these websites, to make it equal $50 would probably be only a $25 spend. I found myself spending a lot more than $50, so I had to remind myself that once again, because the money's there, because it was given to me to spend on myself as a birthday present, doesn't mean I have to spend it. In essence, I didn't end up spending the $50. It is still sitting for me to spend when I come time to it. Another thing that stopped me from spending the $50 on makeup for my birthday was the fact I still have so much makeup that I haven't tried. I still have so much makeup in my collection that I haven't used yet. I feel so embarrassed to say that. I had to keep reminding myself every time I went to a different website, like, no, you really, like, I really want this stuff. I really want to try these brands, but I want to do them justice. I want to do the products that I'm spending my money on justice. I had to remind myself that it's just gonna get lost in your collection. You're gonna open the box, you're gonna unbox it, and it's probably gonna get lost in your collection because you have so much makeup. I've put that on the back burner for now, and I will revisit it when it comes to a time when I have had the chance and I feel ready to bring something else into my collection that I can do it justice, that I can value and appreciate and actually use. I was ready to purchase the whole collection of the Lana Beauty single eyeshadows that she has, and I thought, no, this girl is a small business. She's hand making these products. She's putting so much time and effort and value into these products, and she deserves the same respect from me for her products. Most of the brands on my list of brands to try in 2019 are indie brands, so I feel bad when I just purchase from them and forget about those products, because a lot of the times the owners are hand making their products. They're putting a lot of time and effort into those products. Those products deserve the same love and attention that the owner of the brands have put into those products from the person that has purchased them. So those are the ramblings of a crazy lady that spends too much money. Let me know down in the comments box what struggles you had in January and February with your spending. Can you relate to anything that I mentioned in this video? I sure hope that you can and that I don't feel alone over here. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Also make sure you click the subscribe button down below so you can keep up to date on all my content in 2019. That's it for this video, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic day and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.